Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Our first story about why it's important to respect personal space. Our OP worked as a security guard, and he has a story to tell. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. You want me to repeat what I just said to you in front of a supervisor? Sure thing. So this happened a couple of years ago now. I used to work as a security guard, never at clubs, mostly just music festivals, sporting events, and corporate buildings in the city. Anyway, every year the company I worked for provided security for an international sporting event that took place over 2 weeks. Now this sporting event is held in Australia during summer's peak. That'll be important later. Anyone who's experienced an Australian summer will know that temperatures can climb to the mid-40s Celsius, which is scorching, particularly when you have to stand in the same spot for 12 to 16 hours for 14 days straight. The job I was tasked with, along with my brother, was guarding a giant inflatable ball. It was a prop that was strapped down to a cardboard stand intended for patrons to take photos with for social media. Now, if there's one thing Australians love more than fighting off deadly spiders, snakes, and marsupials, it's drinking. Imagine it's your job to stand in front of this giant effing tennis ball for really long hours in the scorching sun while everyone around you drinks. And what do some of the younger people do when they've been drinking? Oh, a giant inflatable ball. Let me sprint and jump into it because that'll be fun. Never mind the two pissed off security guards standing right next to the damn thing. So it was day 9 or 10 at around 10 p.m. when most of the play had finished up for the day, and it had been a particularly hot day. I was sick of drunken F-wits charging into this thing, and to be frank, not in the mood to be guarding a $3,000 inflatable ball. Cue drunken idiot sprinting headlong into the prop and tearing one of the straps from the underside. I'm not gonna lie, I lost my crap. Get the F out of here, you dumb bee! That was all the drunken idiot needed to turn into a belligerent drunk. He became angry and started yelling at me and getting in my personal space. One thing he stressed several times was the fact that I wouldn't say this to him if a supervisor was around. We continued arguing for a little while until a supervisor was called to the scene via the control room where someone had seen but not heard everything take place. I turned around and saw a supervisor who I was very good friends with. The supervisor intervened and asked what was wrong and asked me to step back from the patron. I told him that he had run into the ball and I'd ask him to leave. Drunken moron, say what you said to me again in front of your supervisor. That's right, you won't. With a crap-eating grin, I looked him dead in the eye with the supervisor standing right next to me and I said, I told you to get the F out of here, you dumb bee. The dude lost his crap. Berating the supervisor for allowing me to speak to him like that, the supervisor asked me to step back again and then radioed for backup and kicked the drunken goon and his friends out. Damn, it felt good. And our second story. She tried to shoo me out, so I let her. My first fun story to share here. I work at a 911 call center, and if you know anything about emergency services, we're often understaffed. One of the assistant soups, we'll call her Debbie, decided out of the blue to flex her responsibility of being a supervisor by fine-combing the dress code. My job's dress code is a black uniform, black socks, black boots, but since we work inside, they don't mind if we wear black sneakers. I'd moved the weekend prior, and my friend helping me unpack told me to trash my old work shoes because they were falling apart and became my moving main shoes. They were 6 years old and dying, but I couldn't find the box with my black boots, so I was down to the only other sneakers I could find, white Adidas. I went into work the next day and told the main supervisor I planned on going to the mall to buy new shoes after work. We worked 12-hour shifts, mine are from 6A to 6P. The supervisor, who was also my friend, said she didn't mind but told me not to go around propping my feet up everywhere, aka don't go bringing unwarranted attention to it. So I just get to work at my desk. At 6:20, that's when Debbie decides to do a patrol on checking uniform and she catches my shoes. She tells me I probably can't wear them all day, so I explain the story. She goes, "Oh, I don't know, and walks away. At 6:30, she comes back and tells me the supervisors are discussing it. She asked if I could go to the mall early to buy the shoes. Me. The mall doesn't open until 10. I have to wait anyway. Debbie. Well, can't you just go buy a pair at Walmart? Me. I'm not going to waste my money or gas going to Walmart when I'm going to the mall later. Debbie. Then we're just going to have to send you home. Me. I'm fine with that. Debbie. But you have to hurry right back. Me. Well, the mall doesn't open until 10, so I'll be back by lunch. Debbie seemed okay with this and very smug she was sending me home. Perfect. I was talking with a coworker, we'll call her Cindy, who had gotten her work sneakers covered in mud, so she wore bright blue shoes. Bright A blue with electric pink marks. Debbie had seen them but decided I was the problem. Well, okay then. So I turned off my workstation and clocked out at 6:37. I made my way to the elevator, go downstairs, head to my car. I called my mom to explain it, and she told me that I didn't have to go back if they sent me home. I told her it depends on how long it takes me to shop, but I wouldn't rush myself. My mom knows I can take forever shoe shopping. I've done it ever since I was little. So at 6:39, a weird new number calls my phone. I answered it. Debbie. Hey, you haven't left yet, have you? Me. Why? Debbie. We decided you don't have to go anymore. You can stay. Me. But I'm already at my car. Debbie. Your car's only in the lot. Hurry back up. And then she hung up on me. I took my time going back upstairs. It didn't take that long, and I was back upstairs by 6:41. Debbie decided to flaunt around that she was doing me a favor by letting me stay, and I reminded her that the only reason she did it was because they'd be short-staffed for the morning rush of calls without me. She avoided me for the rest of the day. She kept slacking on her supervisor duties, had gotten reported to HR twice, and then got demoted. She's a lot nicer to me now. Debbie sounds like the kind of person to let power go to her head. Petty people should not get to be anyone's boss. And our last story. Entitled woman thinks she's above the law. This particular story did happen a few months ago, but boy, was it memorable for you to understand the levels of crazy and ignorance that this woman had. At the time of this happening, I was, still am, a DC for the police, so I don't wear the uniform, just a pretty basic black suit. So to the untrained eye, I could just look like any regular city office worker in the rat race of life. This story takes place near a tube station, and the cast for today is Karen, entitled parent, SK, stupid kid yet harmless, me, Lemois, AO, assisting officer. I won't be going into too much details of what happened before Karen got involved, but the bare bones of it is that a kid got stabbed quite badly for something that was trivial, which makes it 10 times more upsetting. As a result of this, the area has to be cordoned off in order to help with the investigation process. This, for a lot of people, came at quite the inconvenience as it included one of the subway systems. However, this inconvenience was accepted by almost all. Plus, it just meant that it would add an extra 15 to 20 minute walk to your commute. Now, I say almost all. Who was it you think had the problem? Ding, 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 you got it. I just arrived on scene and was receiving a handover from the assisting officer when it felt the police tape from behind me getting lifted. At first, I thought it was another officer or an inspector, but I turned to see it was a small child, no older than 8, I'm sure of it. Me. Whoa, whoa, whoa there, little man, you can't come this way. Who are you with? The kid was very small and looked somewhat intimidated by my large 6'2" frame. He looked up to me, didn't say a word, and pointed in the direction of a heavy-set yet very small woman who at the time of the pointing was on her phone. She was walking towards the boy, and in my naive mind, I thought she'd be as accepting as other folk, collect their son, and carry on with her life. Oh boy, was I wrong. She hung up her phone about 10 feet away from me. As she did, this assisting officer was about to initiate conversation. However, I stopped him because I wanted that interaction with the public. I rarely get any more unless I'm on a family liaison. Armed with a smile, I walk over towards her. Me. Hi, miss. Unfortunately, this area is under investigation. Therefore, this area is off limits until the investigation is through. Sorry for any inconvenience. Karen, right. Well, I just want to get to the tube station, so which way can I go? Me, well, the tube station is also cordoned off. Karen, so you're telling me I can't get on the subway line to get home? What do you suggest I do to get home? Me, just walk around the area off limits and walk to the next connection. Now, after I'd said this, she gave me a look that could only be replicated if I dropped trow and took a massive crap in front of her. I kid you not, she looked so offended that I'd suggested this and said the thing I loathe most. Karen, this is completely unacceptable. I suggest you let me pass. I just want to go to the tube station and go home. I pay your wages and you serve the public, i.e. me. So let me and my child pass, or I'll report you to your superior and have you sacked. My husband's a lawyer. The person who got stabbed probably deserved it anyway. Why are you even bothering? Just another degenerate off the street. It took me a couple of minutes to comprehend what she'd said. To begin with, I effing hate it when people tell me they pay my wages, completely omitting the fact her taxes get so diluted into the system that it probably paid for a politician's lunch. Secondly, her callous attitude towards human life offended me so much it hurts that I share a country with her. Me. Right. I'm bored of being courteous with you. Find another way home, or you'll force me to do something that I won't care to waste paperwork on. Take your child away from the area and find another way home. She was visibly angry with me, changing my attitude towards her. You could see her face get redder and redder. Karen, right. That's it. SK, come here. She grabs SK by the hand and pushes her way past me and snaps the tape. Assisting officer was off explaining the situation to other members of the public with no issues, and when he saw my situation, started to get progressively worse and started to walk over to assist. She gets about 5 feet into the restricted area before I give AO a little nod. This nod acted like a thunderstone to a Pikachu. What? Assisting officer is evolving. Congratulations, assisting officer evolving into arresting officer. He grabbed Karen and arrested her on the spot for obstruction of a police officer's course of justice. Now, the bad thing about this is that we had to do this in front of her child, but she left me no choice. It took a little while, but the father picked up the kid and apologized profusely for her behavior. Apparently, they'd separated, and he's currently having a hard time going through the proceedings for divorce. As much as I wanted to learn more about this crazy woman, I had a job to do. Assisting officer took her to the station where she went through the motions of being arrested. I don't think that'll alter her attitude towards life, though, and I fully expect her to have a run-in with the police again. I find the I pay taxes, therefore you work for me mentality so strange. By that logic, you're technically self-employed because you also pay taxes. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.